Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them? Episode 168. We're creeping up there, 200's right in sight.
Oh my god, I can't believe that.
Did we decide that you're coming for the Sabrina Carpenter concert? I forgot to update with you.
Yeah, I think so.
Period.
I
Doesn't sound too reassuring, but okay.
No, I just need to figure out what to do with Max. Literally the only.
I always find it that, like, Rover.
Oh, you mentioned that before. But it's just a struggle because he doesn't really like people. It's not that he doesn't like them. He's scared of people.
That's fine. He's not gonna, like, bite them.
No, I don't. I hope not. But he does, like, bark at people, like, on walks if, like, a person tries to come up to him and doesn't have a dog. No. And he just gets really scared. Like, if my mom comes over, he doesn't bark at her. If Lisa comes over, doesn't bark at her.
So if he gets used to the person.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't want a person to just show up randomly when I'm not here. Like, I think he'd freak out.
Well, that's very sad because I already put it in my head that we were going.
No, I think we are. We are. I just need to
figure out Max.
Yeah. Like, I wish my mom's dog was, like, they get along, but it's just, he's kind of a big dog and it'd be a lot. Anyway,
yeah.
If anyone lives in the Southern California area that wants to
risk their life taking care of Max.
when he's so easy too. I'm like, as long as he's not nervous, then I feel like he would be the most low effort dog watching you've ever had. But
yeah,
but
he's nervous.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I wish I could say that we have a fun little episode for you today, but honestly, I mean, you know us, we'll have fun in the worst of times. We really will. But this is just a weird ass episode filled with weird ass shit. And that's really the best way I could describe it. It's bizarre.
The one Jesse's gonna talk about, I don't fucking she gave me a very brief TLDR and
I didn't want to cover it.
Yeah,
I literally was like this close to just being like, it's too dark. It's something that I feel like it's almost just triggering just to cover it. But that being said, the person we're talking about is Veruka Salt and Tasha Page. Those are the two characters here. And Veruka Salt has spoken out about it, albeit she has deleted some of the things we're going to watch. So
tends to do that.
Although she is still talking about it and, you know, like she is open to being like, fuck this bitch type of thing. It's not like she wants to be completely quiet about it. I can imagine that this is super triggering to talk about. I mean, this has to do with, trigger warning, her baby passed away from SIDS, which is extremely traumatic. And he was just a few months old. I literally can't imagine anything worse. And we've talked about Veruka Salt.
Not to be confused with the Willy Wonka character.
No. Is this her real name? It can't be, right?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. It's probably Veruka, but not Salt.
I have no idea. Yeah, we covered her before and actually touched on the whole thing about her baby passing away because she was exhibiting kind of unhinged behavior and people were like kind of speculating whether that might have been something that was fueling it. But this isn't her in the wrong, right?
No. So what I understand about Veruka, I've never followed her, but I've seen her a lot on TikTok and usually people are mad at her. Like usually people are mad at Veruka.
I'm like, but this situation is a rare occurrence that's not the case.
Yeah. Everyone's on Veruka's side. Everyone's like, what the fuck is wrong with this Tasha girl? Because oh my God, you guys. I mean, we've talked about a lot of shit that influencers will do at parties or just things that they do that you're like, why? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you saying these things? This blows everything we've ever talked about that an influencer has done, like, out of the water. Like, who are you? Why are you this way? I can't believe this happened.
Yeah. I mean, even when we're just talking about the birthday party situation, it's like, do people not have any concept of what's appropriate and what's not anymore? And this is that times 50,000 million trillion. It's way worse.
I think you're actually going to flip out because the reason we're even talking about all this is not because Veruka brought it out and said, hey, because spoiler alert, what happened is that Tasha Page was extremely inappropriate at Veruka's son's funeral. Okay. She said it and did a lot of things we'll watch.
Wasn't that a while ago? Like that was when we covered.
I think it was 6 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it coming up now?
Well, it's coming up now because Tasha is literally, I have it here on the doc. Tasha starts everything because she's a bitch. That's the name of my
straight into
the name of this subject.
Got it.
I couldn't believe it. I literally was pulling the links for this and I'm like, okay, so how did this start? And then I'm like, no. It just can't be this. There's no way this is how this started. So imagine you act up at someone's baby's funeral. They hate you, obviously. And then 6 months pass. You're lucky they don't expose you on the internet. And suddenly you just get the bright idea to post this.
They always do that. Expose themselves. How many followers does she have? Is she like a big influencer?
She has 296,000 followers. So
decent amount.
Yeah. Veruka has 1.2 million. So Tasha was like, you know what? Let's just see what happens if I just stir that pot.
Do you know what frustrates me for real is that there was this person that I was friends with because they asked to hang out with me and I knew they didn't have that many friends. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And like, also, it's good to make new friends. Long story short, I become friends with this person. They then invite me to, a function. I go because I'm like, oh, they invited me. I want to go be a good person. So I go. I spend all this money on gifts for the function. In question, give it to them, forget to buy a card, don't get any thank you. Never get any thank yous. They find out some bad news. I send them flowers, teddies, all this shit. And I'm made out to be the bad person. And it's just like, it's just so funny. Because, bitch, I choose not to say anything.
Like you're doing now?
But it's just like, people stir shit. They stir the pot. And I'm like, stop stirring. Because I'll make it boil, honestly. Like, just...
What? But this is her stirring the pot, though, isn't it?
I don't even know where to begin. Okay, so first of all, she clarifies this in a second. The function is not the funeral. Okay?
My face.
I know, I thought so too. Basically, the function was a baby shower, and it was Veruka's baby shower that she invited Tasha to.
Okay.
First of all, I don't know, but to me, if I had to guess, she doesn't ever clarify this, I don't think. But the reason I would think she would make this video is if like she heard Veruka was like talking shit behind the scenes or something, you know what I mean? It seems like she's
this seems like
frustrated.
It was provoked by something.
So like, I think that maybe, and I mean, once you're gonna see what she did, I would talk shit about her every day till the day I die. Okay, literally, like there would be no stopping me. Her coming on here and just being like, I felt bad for her, and then she's like, and then she got some bad news, and I like sent her a teddy. The bad news was her baby died. That's the bad news. Like, that's not bad news. That's like your life is over. It feels like you're dying.
And she's mad
like,
that she just didn't get a thank you.
She's mad she didn't give her a thank you.
I think she's probably a little preoccupied grieving the loss of her child, but sure.
So then people obviously put two and two together. They're like, okay, you're talking about Veruka and everything, which I just have to say, I don't care how mad you are, or like, even if she felt she was in the right, to touch this subject when someone is still freshly grieving from the loss of their child is
and
like
then to
a
bring it
different
up, like,
type of evil.
Maybe she's like, it's been 6 months. Maybe she's finally starting to like get her life back.
Yeah, like literally, let's drudge this up again.
Exactly. Like,
so sick.
Diabolical.
Like, it actually pisses me off. So she does a few videos on this. This one is her addressing tea. She calls it the tea of the funeral.
And Veruka has not said anything yet. This is just like her.
So it's hard to tell because Veruka did Instagram stories and then she also did TikToks that were deleted. So she does address it, but I don't know exactly what order it was in. I still think at this point when she posted this, I don't think Veruka had posted yet.
I'm going to address the funeral that I attended, the so-called tea that everyone is talking about, and the thing that I'm getting cancelled for, per se. The video I posted yesterday, when I said function, I was referring to a baby shower, not a funeral. The funeral came after that. What I was bringing up in the beginning of the video was all prior to anything happening, and then I said obviously she got bad news, and then I sent a little gift basket. That's all that I touched on in that video. So prior to the funeral, I was pregnant. Veruka and I were friends, and I was talking to her about my pregnancy, what I wanted to do, whether I was going to choose to keep it or not. She was just like, oh, keep it, get the dad off the fucking baby certificate, whatever. So I ended up going through and getting an abortion. Once I had the abortion, I had a lot of emotions that I obviously was subconsciously not aware about, and those things kind of don't come up until you're put into a situation where it kind of reminds you or triggers those emotions to come back up. So like I said in the other video earlier, I already sent her, I got her baby shower gifts essentially, and then I was in America when everything happened, when I came home. So when I was in America, I couldn't be here, so I sent her flowers and a teddy to be like, fuck, I'm so sorry, sending you love from, another country. I was just sorry I couldn't be there. So after I sent those flowers and everything, she didn't reach out. Obviously, she's got shit going on, fair. But the thing is, when I came home, right, I got an invite to the funeral. So when I got an invite to the funeral, I literally said to my friends, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea because I just had an abortion, and all of my friends told me I had just had an abortion. It was definitely not a good idea for me to be there.
she goes on for quite a while. We'll kind of skip through this, but she says basically, I got an abortion, I was emotional, and then I decided to go to the funeral anyway to quote unquote support a friend. Notably, she does show some messages in a little bit. And those messages, we can just kind of throw them up. It's not like we don't have to watch that video, but essentially what it is her asking Veruka, like, hey, like, what drink do you like? And then Veruka told her like favorite tequila. I think it was like Don Julio or something. And so she brought a bottle of that to the funeral. So then she goes on to explain that there are these two huge slushy machines and they were filled with like vodka and everybody was getting fucked up. Okay, that's how she described the funeral.
Slushy machines at the funeral?
I guess. I don't know what the service was like. I don't know anything about it. And I mean, whatever. Like, do whatever you need to do. If you want to drink on that day, do whatever the fuck you need to do, sister. Like, I'm not here to judge. But yeah, she describes it as like her not being the only person to bring alcohol to the funeral. And this is relevant because Tasha got super fucking sloppy and basically ruined the funeral and just caused chaos. And she is trying to justify all of that by being like, well, everyone was drinking and everyone was, I did shots with.
And to preface all this with the abortion thing and say like she was emotional, like, first of all, if you're emotional and you already thought it was a bad idea sober, maybe you should have sat that out. But then on top of that, we know you're already emotionally unstable and like it's going to be a hard thing. Maybe don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk. The thing is that I think that, I don't know if you've ever done it. I've definitely done it before. I try not to drink when I'm like stressed or sad. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a slippery slope. But there have been times, especially when I was a lot younger, like if I broke up with a guy or something, and I just be like, let's just go fucking do shots. And obviously that night I end up sobbing and it's like a horrible night for everyone. Yeah. That is something that almost you consciously do when you want to just like let go completely. You know what I mean? Like that type of vibe. You don't do that at a funeral. Like even if everyone's drinking. I was going to
say, which feels like a weird occasion to be embracing that.
Even if, exactly. Even if everyone's drunk, like if you know you're emotional and you had multiple friends say, hey, don't even go. Don't get fucking drunk. There's no excuse for that. You're an adult.
I'm like, already it sounds like it was a bad idea, and then you're gonna get drunk on top of that.
Yeah,
like that's setting yourself up for.
You cannot play with that shit at someone's baby's funeral. Like, I literally not even someone else's funeral. Like, if she knew them, if it was her family,
funerals
it's in general.
Up. And like, if Veruka, get as drunk as you want, whatever.
Literally,
like
if she wants to cry and throw up, and that's how it happens for her, then that's how it happens for her.
But it feels so odd to have other people like be drunk at your baby's funeral.
And it's
like,
one thing to get drunk because there's different people who are different when they're drunk. A lot of times, like we've talked about how like when you're drunk, it would be kind of hard to notice. Like you're not someone it's easy to tell that you're drunk. Me, you can kind of tell. But like that is a scenario where everyone knew she was belligerent. Everyone was uncomfortable. No one knew what to do. And like she literally ruined that day for Veruka. So we'll get into what she did and then trigger warning, we have video of it and it is something that I shit you not, I had to hide in the comments when I was watching it because it was so bad and I was just horrified and it's awful.
It was like someone else there was filming it?
Yeah, filming her. Oh god, I can't even say it. We'll get to it. Just prep yourself, clench those cheeks. Anyway, I will skip a little bit ahead, but yeah, she just goes into the whole thing about tequila and she really starts to say like tequila is not my alcohol. Like I know tequila is not my alcohol. So why are you drinking it?
Literally there's so many like parts that she should have turned around and gone back and just didn't.
Yeah. And then she just writes it off as like, well, tequila's not my alcohol and I got fucked up and like I said I'm sorry and no,
at a funeral,
not good enough
for a baby.
Sent me because again, tequila is not my alcohol. So I started to get very emotional, very worked up because obviously I was there for her baby's funeral, but then obviously within that I hadn't realized all the shit that I hadn't processed with my abortion, so I just got super emotional. So long story short, I was hysterical at the funeral. I was hysterical when the balloons got released. I was hysterical inside. When we were all inside, everyone was talking about going to the casino after. I was teary and a fucking mess. So I was like, look, I can come if you want, but I'm gonna have to like go home and get freshened up first and then I'll come back. And everyone was like, yeah, do that, come back. And then I did that and I came back, and then at that stage everyone had left, and then it was just me, her, and I think maybe 2 of her family members left over. I stayed for like another hour or so and then I went home. When I went to the funeral, I wasn't planning on drinking. I drove there myself. Like I wasn't planning on drinking at all. And then when I went inside, okay, they were like, the slushies have way too much alcohol in them. There's alcohol here. Let's do shots. Like I wasn't the one condoning the drinking. to start with.
What? I wasn't the one condoning the drinking, just participating though. Like, that doesn't really matter.
You're an adult. Nobody's funneling, like, opening your mouth and forcing you to drink it. People can offer you shots and you could say, no, thank you, I'm good. Like, nobody
Especially at a
forced you.
baby's funeral. And if you, like, I am assuming probably the people she was with, like, knew why she maybe was uneasy to begin with. Something tells me a baby's funeral isn't where you're gonna get, like, peer pressured into fucking handle pulls. Like,
I know. It's so weird.
I got drunk, obviously. I got so emotional. And yeah, I cried. I cried a fucking lot because I was letting out all the emotions from my abortion. Plus, I was processing being there for someone that has obviously lost their child. And it was heavy, bro. It was very heavy. After the funeral, I sent Veruka a few messages and I was like, look, I know my behavior wasn't okay.
So she's now saying that she apologized for her behavior, which she did, but she skips past what the behavior was because at this point, we had not seen what she did.
notably, she just said she was just crying a lot. I mean, I think there was probably a lot of crying at a funeral. That's pretty
Absolutely.
par for the course. But
when I saw this, I was like, well, I mean, if you were just crying a lot, why are they being that dramatic?
that's clearly
about
not
it?
what the behavior was. Yeah.
No, it's not. And when she posted this, Veruca was like, oh yeah? Guess you didn't think I had video, did you? And then put it up. No. So this was before the video got leaked, but we'll just let her finish, I guess.
I know my behavior wasn't okay. I'm really sorry. And yeah, I was just trying to be accountable for what I did, which I was. And yeah, I was sending her messages. I messaged a few of our mutual friends, checking in on her, making sure that she was okay. And then just also saying to them, look, you know, if or when you see her, just let her know that I am sorry for how I behaved. I was very accountable. Never expected her to
Very accountable for what,
or
man?
anything.
Yeah, so much so
Whatever.
she's not saying what it was
Even
for.
I was processing my emotions, and in theory, it would have been better for me to not go to the funeral.
In theory? No, I'm pretty sure in practice it would have been better for you not to go. Are you joking?
And I feel bad because it's like, I'm sure Veruca, I don't know what she was thinking inviting this girl. I'm sure she regrets that. Like, it just seems like they didn't know each other well. And it's just like, that's such an intimate thing that, I mean, it's your baby. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe she felt like because she had gotten an abortion, maybe she felt like they were I don't know. Even though an abortion is very different than losing your baby to SIDS. Like, they're very different things. I don't know if she describes it. We'll see it in her explanation if she explains that, but I'm sure she regrets it now.
It's not that it doesn't, like, if they're friends at all and she got invited, it's not like, oh, whether, like, why you should go. No, you should go to support your friend. But if you know that you're going to not be in a good state of mind and it's going to be really, like, rough, then it is selfish to not take that into account when you're deciding.
Oh, for sure.
And then to get drunk is also
Accidentally projecting my shit onto other people, but then also not making something that isn't about me, sort of about myself. I already replied over several messages. I tried to not be overbearing. I tried to be accountable and responsible for my actions, which I believe the messages I sent to Veruca prior to that one screenshot that she showed. I was trying to reach out and I was trying to be accountable. I wasn't expecting her to.
So there was something.
I guess there was something, but I'm pretty sure it was Instagram stories because they started doing Instagram stories back and forth, and I have some of the deleted ones. I don't have those of the messages she's talking about.
But we have them now. But surprisingly, the one who posted them is actually Tasha. So here she is coming with the receipts. Not really sure what these receipts are trying to prove, but here they are.
I got the receipts. My phone automatically deletes messages, but I went on my laptop and I found them, so here they are. So these are the messages that weren't shown. I've shown you from I'll Be There Beautiful because the message above that had her address in it and all the details for the funeral, and I don't want to put that in here.
Well, we also don't need to see text from before you were drunk mess at her baby's funeral, but okay, sure.
But I then went on to said, you know, love you, here for you, I'll see you there, reach out if you need anything. I then reached out on the day of the funeral and let her know about the TikTok I posted.
So just want to point out here, she sent that message after the funeral. There is no apology in there for being drunk. Do you know what there is, though? It's her retroactively saying, here, I'll just read the whole thing. Here if you need be. I'm assuming that was supposed to be me, but she was probably still drunk at this point. Today was beautiful way to remember Cash, and I'm honored I got to be there for you, heart. Then it says, I posted a TikTok of today just in honor of Cash, but if you feel like that's inappropriate in any way or don't want it online, please let me know so I can take it down. Not can I put it up? No, she already did put it up. She wants to know if she should take it down. You're doing things a little out of order here, girly, but oh my God. Then she says, mainly just showing the entry sign, balloons, but people are commenting, so just let me know and I can remove it if you find it's disrespectful in any way. So, again, this is her retroactively asking if she should take down the vlog of her baby's funeral. Not because she realized that it was disrespectful, because people in the comments told her so, because complete strangers realize that that's fucking weird. This is insane. Anyway, Veruka does not respond to that. And then the following day, she says, if you need a contact for IG recovery, let me know. The guy got mine back within a few hours. Veruka does not respond to that either. And then let's see what she has to say about this next one.
I then reached out to her when her Instagram account got deleted, and then I reached out again saying, again, I am sorry, I'm aware of my actions, and they weren't okay.
Okay. First, correction. She says again right there, but if you read the message, it doesn't say again. Want to know why? Because this is the first time she's apologizing. The day after she's already messaged her twice. But she says, also, wanted to message and say I'm sorry for getting so drunk yesterday. I think the lack of food and shots, etc. knocked me on my ass. I'm sorry if I was inappropriate or insensitive in any way. It wasn't my intention. It was a beautiful celebration for him, and I'm glad I got to be there for you.
I'll leave it there so you guys can read it, but, like, does anyone not remember what Veruka did to Peach? Or what Veruka tried to do to Anna Paul?
Yes, we remember, but that's not particularly relevant. Why are you bringing that up? Oh my god, what is wrong with you? Genuinely, you guys, this is insane.
Like, I'm aware of my mistakes. I'm okay with myself. I've forgiven myself, so it's all good.
I've forgiven myself? What do you mean? I've forgiven myself, so it's all good? What? I don't think that you're the one that needs to forgive yourself. Are you joking?
I reached out. I knew what the issue was. I'm aware of it. I'm accountable.
Are you accountable though, girly? Because it kind of seems like you're not, especially the part where you tried to say, don't you remember when Veruka did this? Because that kind of seems like the opposite of taking accountability and actually just deflecting onto Veruka and trying to play the victim, which I would say is not taking accountability. But, you know, that's just me.
That's all I can do. What do you want me to do? I've said sorry.
Oh my, what do you want me to do? I've said sorry? Bitch, are you kidding? What is going on?
I said sorry to her in these messages as well. And I was quite respectful and concise in them as well. So
I was quite respectful and concise. Yeah, you're pretty fucking concise. I don't think that's a marker of a great apology though, girl. Like, oh my god. Also, if you got drunk at my baby's funeral, I would expect you to fucking apologize every day for the rest of your life. I said sorry in these messages. No, you said sorry in one of the messages. Are you joking? This is insane. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to us.
But Veruka did start posting things on her stories, and then Tasha did too, and it was a hot mess. But I guess she started showing messages.
Oh, hi again. Sorry. Just wanted to read you one of the things Veruka posted because it's a response to Tasha's text message. It was 6 months after the fact, I'm going to assume, but it's her responding for the first time to Tasha and saying, is there a reason you're posting a video on TikTok about me after completely ruining my son's funeral? Like, do you really want online beef when if I open my mouth about everything you did and said at my baby's funeral, it would be over for you? And then she tagged Tasha. I don't know what order all of these came in, but things were, as Jessie said, getting very messy. Also, though, the fact that now she's kind of backtracking, being like, I was apologizing. I was like, now she acknowledges she did something. But that first TikTok, it was like, what?
Yeah, that first TikTok is bizarre if you look at it, considering the context. It's like, why are you talking as if someone did you wrong? Like, the worst they did was be mad at you for being an absolute menace to society.
Which you acknowledge you were.
I wasn't expecting her to turn around and be like, that's okay, babe, don't worry about it. I wasn't expecting that at all. I just wanted her to know that I knew I fucked up, which I'm human. Everyone fucks up. I had so much unresolved
Not
shit
like
in my
that.
Yeah, I
life
was gonna
that
say,
came
I don't
during
know
that
if
funeral, so it was just not a good idea for me to go to an infant's funeral when I had just had an abortion at the end of the day. In the video I posted yesterday where I was ranting about the gift thing, that wasn't referring to any gifts from a funeral or for the funeral. It was referring to the gifts from the baby shower, because I was
even that.
So
you're so
that's
annoying.
so irrelevant and weird. Yeah, like what?
I'm gonna be so.
Why
for
would you
real.
make that?
Baby showers are very overwhelming. Usually, you get a lot of gifts from a lot of different people, and it's a beautiful thing. And some people have the wherewithal to think every single person send cards out. Like, I think that I sent texts, but it is hard to keep. Like, some of the people that gave me things were like my mom's friends that I don't even talk to, and it's like very sweet. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so appreciative of this, and I will use it. But You don't thank every single person all the time. Like, I'm sorry. I think that's like so stupid.
You aren't giving them the gift because you need a thank you.
I honestly, I think a lot of people do give like that. Maybe because I'm just like not like that at all. Like, my gift is like seeing you get it and like that's it. Like, I just want you to have the thing. Or like, let's say if I get something for your baby and like you put it on them and then you like, you know, that's the gift in itself.
Yeah, like, well,
I just what I got.
I also just feel like it's kind of like an assumed thing. Like, they're not thankful you got the, like,
yeah,
you know?
They're not like looking at it and being like, what the fuck? Like, you know, they're thankful. They're overwhelmed. And there's a lot of people and a lot of people gave gifts and that's beautiful.
Yeah, to get hung up on that feels a little.
She wanted
like,
her
okay,
moment.
I
Like,
mean,
I think she wants her moment in everybody's moments. Like, she seems like the type.
Because I was like, this bitch is having a baby. I know people with babies. I raised children when I was growing up. I raised my siblings. So I was just like, I pretty much got her all the basic shit that I thought she would need. And that's what I was upset I didn't get a thank you about.
Also, don't do that.
the fact you would bring it up now also when the baby died? Like, are you kidding?
That's actually a very good point because, yeah, it's already fucked up to mention it and be like, I gave you a gift. You didn't say fucking thank you. But the fact that her son has passed away and you're still bringing that up is...
And trying to like hang that over her head and like
it's literally
act
sick.
like you're like still dwelling on it. And
Oh
it's like,
my
maybe we don't think about that anymore.
Yeah, you're so right. Like, those gifts can't be used. Do you get that? Because she doesn't have her son
Like,
anymore.
do you want them
fucking
back?
bitch.
Like, I don't understand.
This was all prior to the funeral. So this has nothing to do with the funeral. This is how I felt before the funeral. But I put it aside once I found out everything happened.
But you did it. You're talking about it 6 months later.
That's actually fucking crazy because you're saying you held it against Veruka because she didn't say thank you for the baby shower gifts. And then her baby died, so you felt bad. And then you were like, okay, I'll go to your funeral. It almost makes it seem like what you did was intentional and like you wanted to fuck shit up and you wanted to go there and not give a fuck because fuck her.
She didn't thank you for the baby present.
Yeah, I would like to think that human beings aren't capable of shit like that, but the way she's talking, like, how do you with a straight face talk about baby shower gifts for a baby, like you said, that passed away? How do you do that?
It's insane.
Even if I hated someone, I wouldn't do this. Don't act like you were ever her fucking friend. I can't.
Well, what do you get? What are you trying to get out of this? Attention?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, shut up.
It seems so. And she got it, but her comments are turned off. So imagine not the kind she wanted.
And I was like, fuck, I need to put my feelings aside to be there for this person. Clearly, I got super emotional. My emotions were super heightened, and yeah, I had a lot of unresolved shit going on that I didn't realize. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is I didn't know that in my head, and I'm apologetic. I apologize to her. So everyone that's commenting in fucking my things, whatever you're commenting on, I did apologize to her. I sent her messages. I obviously wasn't gonna go up to her face and be like, I'm sorry, and like force her to see me say sorry. But yeah, I reached out to her. I sent several messages. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am aware of my actions. I'm aware
What
of
are
what
they?
happened, and there's not a lot that I can do now besides learn better for next time, essentially.
How do you learn better if you don't know what you did?
but-
or like you're not acknowledging what you did?
Well, and not her saying like she didn't realize that she was like emotionally, she had like a bunch of
When she
unresolved
just said she did.
things. You literally told us that you weren't going to go to the funeral because of it, and that your friends also
Yeah.
agreed, and then you just decided to go anyway.
Absolutely insane.
So you did now.
But we will show really quick. This is a vlog that she's since deleted, but it was like her vlog of the day that she went to the funeral.
She vlogged
She
the
did.
funeral. Shut the fuck up. That, oh my God.
Now I've just got Veruka some John Julio. I don't know how to say this shit. I don't actually drink tequila, but she's gonna need it. Yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty heavy day. I've been to funerals before, but never for a baby. So it's just, yeah. I know. There's not a lot to say to
Even in that moment to film the balloon release, one thing you notice is that nobody else has their phone out and everybody's just trying to do the balloon release to celebrate his life. And it's just like, God, I just don't like her so
Like,
much. Hate is a strong word, but oh my God.
No, but like we covered the whole Alex and Cover wedding situation, and this
Oh,
is
I'm like, who are
absolutely
they?
insane.
Yeah, no, I remember.
The vlogging at the wedding,
Yes,
what's her name?
Lila B or whatever the hell. Yeah.
That, again, like, I think certain weddings, sure, and if you take your phone out at a wedding, that's not weird. It was weird that she vlogged it and made it about herself. Anyway, a funeral?
Yeah.
I cannot fathom
doing that.
thinking that that was okay.
No, in any world.
And why you would want to.
I don't know, but all these stories that keep coming out about influencers doing crazy shit, albeit, again, this is the worst. This is the worst I've ever seen. Case of influencer-titis. I don't know what we got to call it, but we got to come up with a disease name because it's so bad.
Influenza.
Influenza. Yeah, I like that.
Before we go any further, we have a word from our sponsor, Lumi.
As you guys know, Lumi is a whole body deodorant that is safe to put anywhere on your body. And yes, I mean anywhere. Underarms, belly buttons, butt cracks, vulvas, feet, toes, in between your toes if you wanted to. You know, you get it.
Yeah, they have you covered. And they have it also in all different forms. So they have everything from like a normal stick deodorant to like a cream deodorant to the wipes, which we always say are our favorite because it's like a nice little refresh whenever you need it.
If you don't refresh yourself throughout the day, you're gonna stink. So it's the perfect thing to keep in your car or your bathroom or just to have on the go. And it prevents you from having body odor, which is a favor to yourself and everyone around you.
It is, it is.
If you guys want to try out Lumi for yourself, you can get a starter pack from them, which is honestly the best way to try Lumi because you can have a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. So that could be like the wipes, like we talked about, a mini body wash. They have a bunch of things to choose from. And it's just a great way to try out Lumi if you haven't yet. Plus, it comes with free shipping.
And as a special offer for our listeners, you can also get 15% off if you go to lumideodorant.com and use our exclusive code, Do We Know.
And if you combine that 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, you can get a total of over 40% off of your starter pack, which is a great deal.
So again, use the code Do We Know at lumideodorant.com and you'll get over 40% off if you get the starter pack.
That's code Do We Know at lumedeodorant.com. And thank you so much to Lumi for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. It takes such a lack of just understanding your surroundings and being a compassionate human being to do this.
No
to think that
self-awareness
this is okay
whatsoever.
and to think that you should vlog it. Yeah, at all. Luckily, she deleted it, but still,
What do
it's
you
like this was up for
title
how
it?
long?
Like going to a baby's funeral? Like, are you fucking kidding?
I know. It's just, oh my God, I can't even imagine. But when all this came out, like I said, Veruka did post her Instagram story. And so there were things in between here that may be missed. But most importantly, she posted this video that has now been deleted, which is Tasha at the funeral giving a speech.
So this is actually going to show it.
Yeah.
Cheeks are clenched.
Yeah, no, they need to be. And then it says on the screen, after specifically being told not to speak, Tasha pipes up from the crowd when the funeral director is talking to me.
I can say something.
She put on the screen, getting closer to prepare for her moment she was asked not to do. So you literally see her inching closer and closer towards the hearse. Jesus Christ, this is horrible. And then it says, here's her full speech of random garbage. Everyone's tears immediately dried
I
up.
never got the pleasure to meet Tash because of my own circumstances as broken nose, but I learned how much of a mother and how much she blossomed during that period of having Tash in her life, and it was so honoring to see how fucking nurturing and beautiful and how in tune you were with your instincts and being Tash's mother. And it breaks my heart that I never got to meet him, but I'm glad that I got to be in your life, and I'm glad I got to be here today. I'm sorry that I never got to be here and meet him himself, but I'm glad that I get to be here to you. And I love you, and I can't imagine what you're feeling right now. I can never, ever, ever put myself in your shoes. But I'm so proud of you and proud of how you've handled the situation and proud of how you've handled all the media and everything. And it's so inspiring and honorable. And honestly, like, I know how hard this has been for you, but I'm so proud of you and how you've handled this. This is your baby boy, and he'll forever be your baby boy. And I love you so much, and he's forever going to be within your DNA and within your heart and within your body and everything. And I love you. I'm here for you.
And then it says someone else who literally watched me give birth starts talking to get her to stop talking. But don't worry, she starts again.
How do you? Ash. Ash is the most loved little baby that there will ever be by all the baddies that have been Gold Coast in Queensland. He is the most fucking baddie attention man that will ever be on the Gold Coast. May him live with like forever lasting pussy and
So she says, may he live with everlasting pussy and peace. This is an infant, a few months old, who passed away.
Was she also saying that he's gonna get all the baddies?
I think so, yes. I heard baddies, and I wasn't sure if she was calling Veruka a baddie or if she was saying that.
No, I think she said he's gonna get all the baddies.
That is insane. That my brain actually can't process that.
Tash is the most loved little baby that there was gonna be by all the baddies that have been Gold Coast in Queensland. He is the most fucking baddie attention man.
Baddie
that will ever
attention
be
man?
on the Gold Coast. Make him live with like forever laughing for singing. He gonna grow up. He gonna grow up in heaven.
I think for me, you know, like watching you as a mother was just in my.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go away. Go away. What is she doing?
Oh, God. So, okay. There's a few things. Number one, if anyone ever leaned against my son's hearse like that, I would tackle them to the floor. Second of all, for those of you that are just like listeners, it's kind of hard to catch the vibe, but this was a very intimate setting, and this was before the balloon release, and I don't know how she got an invitation. I don't think they were that close. Again, I'm sure Veruka regrets that, but like, dude, what the fuck? She's like a lurker. She lurks around Veruka in this whole video.
It's so weird. And it's also odd because she starts the initial speech. It's not offensive. It's
too
like
bad,
weird and awkward.
Well, the thing is
but
like,
then
yeah,
that
like
she
you
comes
don't
back.
speak. You're not Kristen Wiig in the fucking Bridesmaids. Like, why are you fucking up there talking? Nobody asked you to talk, period. I think that speaking at a funeral is a very, very intimate thing that like,
and usually
you
a planned
that
thing
baby
that's been like talked about and discussed before, not like
Yeah,
this
we're not
isn't
asking
open
for
mic
improv.
night. Like, what is going on?
No. So even though in the beginning, you're right, it wasn't super offensive. She
It
was
was
like, you know,
weird.
you're a great mom and all that stuff. But she even then said shit that was fucked up.
Like her saying like, I'm so proud of you for how you've handled this situation. What do you mean? What?
But
literally
the
it's just
everlasting
uncomfortable.
pussy and peace thing is like, now everybody's just obviously on her ass. They're like, first of all, you're sexualizing an infant. What
Okay,
is
well, that's
wrong with
what's
you?
so weird is like, again, like as I said, the first part it's awkward and she says some weird shit and it's uncomfortable, but it's not offensive.
Yeah.
Then it's like she just like got a second wind and was like, oh no, now I have to bring the comedic relief. Like, what?
I can't even say she thought she was being funny because what the fuck was that? And
I
the
don't-
like awkward laughter and the feeling that everyone around her must have had. Because honestly, if like that was my sister or my sibling,
I'd be
I would have been
mortified.
like, I need to get this bitch out of here. Like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, she obviously didn't know that this video existed, but it does. And when she was talking about her being hysterical, this is what she was talking about. You weren't being hysterical, you were being belligerent and offensive.
That's also the thing is like, she isn't even crying or anything.
No, at all. She just seems like she's just chilling, talking about anything. Honestly, it just seems like she could be talking
Like
about the
she's
weather.
giving like a casual birthday toast. Like,
Yeah, and then Veruka finally, like the speech stops, goes up to the hearse, starts breaking down, and in comes Tasha lurking in the back like a fucking gremlin and like leeches onto her. Like, I would punch her in the face. This is insane.
I've had birthdays where I invite like obviously like my close friends and stuff, but then like coworkers or like someone that you kind of just like happen to see and you're like, oh, by the way, I'm having a birthday party this weekend.
Right,
Come.
right.
And then they do, and they don't know anyone there, and they're just like leeching on you
yes.
the entire time.
Mhm.
That's the vibe it gives.
Yeah, when you think of like why they're there, it actually pisses me the fuck off. So this has been deleted since then. And Veruka did post a few Instagram stories. It's really long, like kind of like notes app things. So I don't know that we should read it all. But essentially what she's saying is like she cannot believe that Tasha is making this about her still, because she obviously feels like she made it about her on that day, because she fucking did. That memory of that at her funeral is always going to stay as like a stain. You know what I mean? Like when she remembers and thinks back to that, and that is unforgivable. Like there is no way I would ever allow that woman back into my life again. But imagine that person that does that comes on the internet, allegedly unprovoked.
You know what's so frustrating?
Yeah, and like just starts complaining like if you were just a bitch and a bad friend to her. It's like,
literally
you crashed my baby's funeral. Like, what are you talking about? And honestly, Veruka has handled this a million times better than I would have, because spiral is not even the word. I would have absolutely lost my mind. So lastly, we will leave it with Veruka talking about what happened at the funeral.
Good morning, guys. I'm a little sick, but let's get into it. I do not have the answers. I don't. I don't know what is going on in this girl's brain. I don't know why she's like mentally the slowest person on the planet. I do not know. But I will answer a few questions. So, why did no one say anything? She had been following me around for 3 hours inside my home during the funeral. So, first of all, no one wants to cause a scene. No one can get me alone for even like a minute to be like, hey, what's up? Like, what do you want me to do? No one can really tell how close she is to me because she's making it seem like she's my best friend when I'm walking away from her and she's following me around. And no one in my life is just really like that. No one would say, shut the fuck up. Except for me, probably. But I was not mentally there. I didn't even register that this was going on. I just felt it was annoying. I wasn't even angry until like 3 days later. I was not there. Obviously, my baby just died. So, there's that. I don't know why she was like, yes, I know. I'm going to say, she didn't say thank you for my baby shower present. Yes, everyone's going to hate her. I'm going to be vindicated for everything I did at her son's fucking funeral. Yes. I don't know. I don't know what her thought process there was. Whatever. She can have that. I guess when I did eventually bite back after months of being poked at online, she decided to call me a liar. I guess she did not expect me to have the fucking video, did she? But you win some, you lose some, I guess, girl. Anyway, what I do know is this girl will go on to have her own babies. Her babies will go on to have their own babies. And she will not be able to look at any of these babies sleeping in their cribs, sleeping in their bassinet, as soon as she gives birth, honestly, without thinking about my baby in his coffin. And you know what? It will haunt her for the rest of her life, and I've made my peace with that.
Very morbid, obviously. It's a lot. So, okay, granted, I don't watch any of these people, but if that's true, then I guess maybe they were sub-TikToking each other or like doing little pokes online. Too hard to keep track of if you don't follow them. You know what I mean? But regardless, I don't care if Veruka poked at you every fucking day, bitch. Like, the audacity to come out with her, you know what's so frustrating, while she's opening that soda. It just,
But then also Veruka says that she was poking her.
That Tasha was. Yeah. Well, and I mean, considering everything, I do believe that.
See, it tracks.
Yeah, it absolutely tracks. I mean, literally, Tasha's response to all of this after everything was like, well, I said what I needed to say. Like, that was literally her last video. It was just like, yeah, well, I mean, said what I need to say. We can all just move on now. Like, I've already said sorry. So, like, what can I do?
I do not know what people want me to do online. I'm getting threats from 14-year-old girls that haven't even gotten their monthly yet. Like, I don't know what people expect me to do. Like, this happened in February. This happened in February, like 2 weeks after my abortion. So yeah, I know. I already contacted her. I already said apologized to her directly. I already announced online how I fucked up. I already know I fucked up. So yeah, I don't know why people keep going. Like, you've already said things 100 times. I think maybe if you say it 1,000 times, I might actually get the point you're trying to lay across. So keep going, maybe. It might work. I don't know.
Just stop posting about it. That's literally what she did.
You could actually be sorry, maybe.
Yeah, you could actually acknowledge what you did. And the thing is, though, anybody capable of this and like saying those fucking horrendous, how do you even think that? Okay, literally,
that's the thing. I was like, how do you get to that point that it's like, this
fucked.
Is what I'm gonna say about her? Like,
you have to just be fucked. Like, if you can even think the thought of like the everlasting pussy and all that shit, you're weird as fuck. I literally, like, one thing I don't accept, and it's like my strongest boundary with my kids, I don't play that like, oh, like she's such a little flirt or he's such a flirt. Like, when there's just a waiter being nice to them.
What if he was gay?
Literally, well, first of all, I don't tolerate it at all. Like, literally, I will say out loud to whomever is saying it, I'm like, she's 2, or like he's 6, he's not flirting with anyone, like he's a kid. Like, you know what I mean? I hate the sexualization of children in that way, and it's so normalized in a heteronormative sense. Like, if you're saying it about the opposite sex, it's totally fine. Let's sexualize an infant. But if it's not, if it's a boy waiter and it's my son looking at him and being nice, oh, don't say nothing, because then you're just like trying to like indoctrinate them. It's bullshit. Don't sexualize children, period.
Well, and this isn't even like, oh, we want our kids to get married, whatever. You know, it's not hurting anyone, whatever. Which, yeah, I get it. But this is not that.
This is diabolical.
This is insane.
Notably, Veruka did do a TikTok, I think it was today, where she was eating breakfast and then she was singing to Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. And then she said, just eating breakfast with no particular meaning. But like a lot of people are saying to Tasha, like, you're a fucking weirdo if you think of babies in that way. And like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
To have her go up there for, again, like she felt so passionately about sharing that little tidbit. That was the second time she went up there.
When she came back for the reprise, I was like, please stay away.
Like, you'd think that, oh, she must really have something good to say now if she's coming back again. But that's what she went with? A choice.
Yeah. No amount of tequila, no amount of anything should be able to make you do that. You're just a shit person.
Yeah. Drunk words, sober thoughts. No. Weird fucking thoughts, girly.
No.
Like, I don't get it.
I wish that it could be a more lighthearted situation where it would be like, oh my God, this person crashed this party or whatever. But this is an infant's funeral. This is the worst moment of Veruka's life. Like, you can't even, I can never fathom, and I hopefully never have to experience that. And when you think of it in that sense, it doesn't just become inappropriate or fucked up. It becomes like diabolical. Like, you are the ultimate villain. Fuck you. I never want to see your face again. Like, on the internet. Bye.
I mean, when you think of even like if someone's like grieving like any loss of any family member, that you don't reach out and then get mad like if they don't respond, because it's like, no, you need to give them their space. Just let them know that you're there for them. And like, that's pretty much the understood protocol to follow.
Right.
Not, again, treat this kind of like it was a birthday party and you just like wanted to be by the birthday girl. Like, no, leave her alone.
Yeah, she even kept like mental notes of how many times she texted her and then was like, I'm going to reach out to friends and say I'm sorry. And like, how about just leave her the fuck alone? I'm sure she never wants to speak to you again. It actually broke my heart to hear her say like, I wasn't even mad. Like, I couldn't even be mad at the funeral.
Tasha wanted to make it about herself.
Yeah.
For it, whether they're subconscious or not, it's weird. Meanwhile, Veruka is again mourning the loss of a child. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah. And having an abortion yourself, not an excuse here. You're an adult who came knowing, according to you, that you were in a weird emotional place. And, you know, I'm not sure what emotional place an abortion can bring you to that you would wish everlasting pussy for an infant. That doesn't seem like that
weird side
tracks at all.
effects. Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that's on the list when you get the pamphlets. Like, that's just not.
Well, and I obviously know that there are emotional things that happen when people get abortions, whether like sometimes they might regret it but also it feels a little insensitive as well to compare someone that lost their baby to SIDS to a pregnancy you voluntarily terminated.
Yeah, you can absolutely feel anyway. You're entitled to feel about that. That's still a loss. It's not that loss. She literally said like he saved her. Like, she was finally happy in life. Like, you can't compare that to you choosing to have an abortion. There are horrors that come with that. And, you know, I know people have gotten them and sometimes it's not a big deal to them and sometimes it fucking is. And you're entitled to feel that way. But you got to choose not to have that child. You can't compare it. And I feel like she was trying to. Like, if we're being honest, she was really
trying to be like, well, we were both going through it. It's like, not
it's like,
the same thing.
It's so disgusting. Actually made me feel nauseous. Like, just, oh my God, her saying that and just like seeing her come back up. And I just wanted it to end. I'm telling you, I had to watch it in like 5 parts. I was hiding in the comments and pausing every 5 seconds. I couldn't do it.
The secondhand awkwardness, discomfort, I can't. I don't know how then you would even remotely come in like, I don't care if you have like an explanation for why you did it. Yeah, like to come on and try and be like, well, it was just because of this. And like, you know.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
you know what the right answer is, Tasha? Shut the fuck up. Like, nobody cares. Like, bye. I'm sorry. I've never wanted an influencer to be canceled more than this. Like, we'll never speak about you again, Tasha. Goodbye. See you never. No, it's disgusting.
It's absolutely insane. Probably one of the most insane things we've ever covered.
Yeah. All in all, I wish Veruka the best. It's just a horrible, unimaginable situation. And I'm very sorry to her that this girl shat all over it. Like, it's another level.
As if everything we've seen so far isn't bad enough. Do you want to see what she's posted since? Well, too bad. I'm going to show you anyway. You guys, this is insane. Look at this.
To everyone that is saying I need to see a therapist, good news, I did today. I went to gym. I didn't train upper body, obviously. I only train lower body because of my boobs. But yeah, don't worry. I just went and pushed some metal instead, and that's the only therapy I need.
I'm your mom, and I already know who you are because I peeked in the envelope.
I'm your daddy, and I think that you're gonna be a boy.
I'm your meme. I'm your meme, and I think you're gonna be a children's school shooting little boy.
I cannot fathom doing any of this, but I truly cannot fathom fucking up so royally. This be what you do afterwards? Like, this is actually the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Anyway, do you want to talk about MrBeast, which is not any better, and there's just a whole bunch of horrible shit?
Yeah, I was like, are we ready to get demonetized again? By the way, we found out what we got demonetized, or at least age restricted for this time. And it was the clip about Bad Baby of MrBeast being like, which, you know, honestly, I get. It's not like,
bad, yeah.
how dare that, it is bad. But we did censor it. And I'm just like, we've talked about worse things before.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the context, the feeling of the algorithm. Who knows?
Yeah. But I want to go over basically a video that premiered yesterday, and it was by what was the guy's name? Dog something. It was the same guy from the cornfield video.
Was it? Because I was wondering why there was over 100-something-thousand views. Like who?
Yeah,
what channel
it was him
that on?
conducting the interview. So the interview is with someone named Jake Weddle, which is not the cornfield video. If you don't know what we're talking about, here's the video.
Hold on, let me turn off the music. I'm outside MrBeast studio right now. Here's a cornfield. I'll explain that tomorrow. I've just been driving by looking to see, you know, is there an FBI raid going on? What's happening? My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Chris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew. I heard many times that Ava, Chris Tyson, is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast has done. Amazon, if you can get your money back, get your money back.
Very ominous. Still don't know what he was talking about with the cornfield. Did he ever describe it?
Now he's made like multiple videos on YouTube. They're like long.
Do we know what the corn is?
No, actually, I didn't.
No. That's still being a mystery.
I was trying to get like AI breakdowns, like give them the transcript because they're all so long. And so many people have covered, because the reason it's kind of hard to keep up with is there's allegations coming out left and right about MrBeast, like for a variety of things.
Telling you, he's like David Dobrik.
No, literally, when you see some of the clips I'm going to show you.
When the floodgates opened for David Dobrik, they opened. Like it was a flowing river.
It's eerily similar to that because it's very much like, well, MrBeast offers you this much money to do something, you're going to do it. And it's like, oh my God, this is insane. So basically, Dogpack404 is his name.
Dogpack404. How did he get so much traction on this live? There was hundreds of thousands of people watching. How is that possible?
He's been like leaking. I mean, he got a lot of attention, I think, even after just that video that we included.
But over 100,000 people watching live is insane. I've never seen that
it was
before.
like, because he worked for MrBeast too, I guess. But then he's interviewing this guy, and he's in a lot of the MrBeast videos, I guess. And at one point, he even says that he was supposed to...
The cornfield guy?
No. The one he's interviewing, Jake Weddle.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
and
got it.
Jake says he got cut out of a lot of videos, but that at one point he was like basically told that he was going to be made to be like the fourth guy, like in the videos with all of them. So... I don't even know where to start.
Start with the worst. Is there like a bad to good ratio, or is it all just bad?
There's also allegations that aren't like, I mean, they're still concerning, but they're not the same type that we're going to watch with the Jake stuff. Okay, so these next few allegations that we're about to talk about do come from Dogpack404, which is the same guy that did the Jake Weddle interview, which, by the way, you guys, I don't know if he deleted other videos prior to this, but literally he only has these 2 MrBeast videos up. Third one is coming soon. And the first one has 13 million views from 2 weeks ago, and the second one has 10 million views from 4 days ago. So that's insane for a channel that has literally only 2 videos. And I do want to throw out there, MrBeast team have denied the claims and basically said that Dogpack only worked for them for a month and then was fired for erratic behavior. And obviously, because of that, all of this is alleged. But just generally, that he fakes videos. Yeah, there's an ex-employee that claims that MrBeast fakes his videos, rigging them to achieve certain outcomes. Same ex-employee also alleges that he runs illegal lotteries and sells fake signatures. And MrBeast's team denies those claims, so this is all alleged. Don't sue us. We are not presenting this as fact. This is just, we're relaying what is out there.
Protective language queen.
Yes.
Janet Dodd as well.
Like, we're not talking about you, Janet. Go away. We know you're watching. I guess the whole illegal lottery thing is that the key issue apparently is whether the giveaways require like payment. And that's like when you see like sweepstakes with like companies where it's like no purchase necessary, but it's like apparently purchase might be necessary.
Yeah, so I've since gone back and watched the part 1 of Dogpack's Expose series, and when I said purchase might be necessary, it turns out purchase was definitely necessary, because one of the illegal lotteries that he points out, apparently it's still on MrBeast's Facebook page, but it was a live stream where they were selling merch and saying that MrBeast would sign it, but then every once in a while they'd throw like $1,000 in with one of the orders. But first of all, that is an illegal lottery by definition, because you have to buy the shirt to get it. And then also the people buying the shirts, odds are going to be children. And to buy a lottery ticket, for example, you need to be 18. So that's another problem. Also notably, MrBeast, throughout the entire live stream, tells people constantly how they're not going to make any money because they're giving away too much stuff. They're just going to barely break neutral, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, Dogpack did the math, and apparently it looks like he profited millions of dollars, and that even if the shirts were only $1, he still would have made money. And then just to add another illegal aspect, the winners are not chosen at random and often are recruited by his own employees. So that's fun.
But that's illegal.
Exactly, because if that's the case, then it makes it
a lottery.
Exactly, and not all lotteries are illegal, obviously, if there's the actual lottery. But if they're not regulated.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't just like
oh my God.
do it on the side.
That's interesting, but I will say him faking the videos is not shocking to me at all. No. Not only because like Rosanna Pansino told y'all so, like she literally said that, and then people clowned her for it and were like, you're full of shit. And we said like, I totally see that. Like he seems like he wants to do whatever he can to just make the video what he wants it to be.
Well, and think of all the video, like he did like pivot to be mostly featuring other people, which I think is now what's blowing up in his face. But even when it was him, it would be like, we're going to talk about a video that he had this Jake guy do that has never gone up because Jake didn't give him, I guess, the content that he thought would do well. But basically the challenge was staying in solitary confinement for like a month, basically, or it was some like very crazy amount of time.
Jesus.
The thing is that MrBeast has done that himself in a few different challenges where it's like, I spent 50 hours in solitary confinement, blah, blah. But it's like, if MrBeast was the one running it, like editing, filming magic, like there's ways easily to fake that. And like, I don't believe that he would be totally putting himself in these very uncomfortable situations all the time. I think it's all for the camera and he just makes it work.
So it turns out there's also another reason to believe that MrBeast's videos might be faked, and that is because they are. And anyone with eyes over the age of 12 would be able to tell you that. I'm not about to go sit through like a million MrBeast videos because I don't want to, but I went to his channel and the first one that I clicked on was 7 days stranded at sea. Oh my God, you guys, this video, because I clicked on it because I was like, that sounds intense. Oh my God. I would say that I don't know how anyone watching his videos would possibly think they're real, but then I guess I realized that most of his viewers are children. But this has 296 million views. And I'm just gonna show you a few clips and tell me if you think it looks a little weird.
Inside this crate is the food for all 5 of us for the next 7 days.
These, I think, are my favorite shots because what is this lighting? They are not in the middle of the ocean. That's an absolute joke. It's so obviously a green screen. And my favorite part is also when they're doing time lapses and people in the comments pointed out that at one point you can tell that no one is sleeping in the tent when they are supposed to be sleeping because they weren't really on a fucking raft. Another suspicious aspect was the wildlife. Here's a very realistic whale, for example. Yeah. That one is less realistic than this bird that plays a character the entire time. But I mean, if you ask me, the bird looks a little suspicious too. I also found it convenient how sometimes the raft seems to be rocking a bit, and then other times, like for example, when it's raining and supposedly a storm is coming, for some reason that appears to be when it remains the most stable. But you know, what do I know? Allegedly, in my opinion. Okay, bye.
That's
That
when
makes
it's for
sense, yeah.
him, at least. When it's for other people, he's still faking with movie magic and stuff, but to make it look not as bad as it actually is in real life. I always think this too, like, I mean, people were criticizing him a lot when he did, like, for example, that grocery store one, where it was like, he bought a grocery store with all the food in it, and he had a guy stay in there, and it was like, for every day you stay in here, you get $10,000. They obviously, like, grocery stores don't have showers and stuff, so they like rigged kind of this weird little shower situation, and he like was,
okay.
so he was very creative, and he like was using shelves to like make a little shelter for like it was fine. But then as time went on, he had to like pick $10,000 worth of products to remove from the store. So he had to like kind of ration what he thought would be most helpful as time went on. And he like got the chance to win like a crazy amount of money, but that's always the case. It's like he just throws money at them and he's like, dance, monkey, dance. And it gets to be a little dystopian and like fucked. And I don't know how he gets past like labor laws about that either, because he's also filming them 24/7.
Yeah, but imagine the paperwork that they have to sign. Number
That's,
one,
but it should be illegal to even have someone waive that kind of a thing.
Maybe, but also from what we learned with Rosanna Pansino, when she talked to like the union people and everybody that she talked to in regards to like Beast Games alone, the whole like Squid Games things that he does, he chooses not to work with union workers so that he doesn't have to follow those safety protocols. I think that when you don't work with people from a union and you're just like getting a random person,
they don't know any better, and
I think they genuinely do not have to follow the same laws, because even if it's an unsafe set, there's no union that's going to sue you. Is that person going to sue you? Probably not. You have millions of dollars. They don't. So it's like, I don't know. I think he does that on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's barbaric. It's insane. And I think like what you said, his content shifted from Charity King to like literally Dance Monkey Dance, like just do
all
what
the
I'm
time
saying for money.
And it's literally, I mean, even when he was doing the whoever last person to step out of the circle wins this, or like,
and I get it. I can understand why he thinks that's entertaining, and I think it probably is to a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. I think that is like, you look at Fear Factor or things that you look at someone and you're like, why would you put yourself through this? People do. There are people willing to do shit that I could never do. I just watched, oh my God, an episode of Love Island, and they don't even get paid for that from what I understand. I'm not actually, maybe they do.
If they do, it's not a lot.
Right. I think there's like a prize. I don't know, whatever. But there was a 4th of July challenge where they had to pass food from one mouth to another, and there was like 6 people in a chain. So when it was a hot dog covered in mustard, that was nasty. But then they had to do ketchup. They all spit ketchup into each other's mouth, 6 people down.
Just ketchup?
Just ketchup, and had to fill up a bowl. And they were talking about how it was hot and acidic, and people were gagging. And then after the ketchup, it was pulled pork. Just imagine just like hunks of pulled pork. You're just spitting
with this shit?
I don't know, but honestly, if I'm being honest, I was crying laughing. I was crying laughing.
Well, I mean, honestly, and from such a different, like, less severe standpoint, like, Clever, we did shit like that all the time, where it's like, oh, let's put, like, Beauty Break, let's put us in a
Cheat Day
weird,
almost
uncomfortable
made us throw up all the time.
Welcome back to Cheat Day. Today we're gonna try some sodas. Jesse's kind of having a mental
I am losing my
I don't know why.
It's so gross.
I love soda, so I think it's gonna be great, except for that they're meat flavored.
Oh man, I'm gonna vomit. Oh my God. Oh, but it has the vomit smell again. It has the vomit smell. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God, I can't. Always take everything, but you have to gag. Vomit, for sure vomit. Vomit is main.
Well, I think vomit is the main thing here. That's the secret ingredient in all of these.
Why did I smell that again? I don't understand.
I keep trying to like psych myself. I'm like, haha, it's just orange soda, but I know it's not.
Why are you gonna drink it again? Oh my God. Oh my God. You have issues. Vomit, just pure vomit. Swallow it before it gets worse.
Orange soda, vomit, and plastic.
That's on point. Like seriously, there were times
and it was,
I was
and
so
we knew
full.
it was entertaining, and we did it. Like it was just kind of like,
yeah, I never threw
which,
up.
by the way,
because
yes, I did come up with that show, but also I wasn't the one necessarily
producing
deciding
each
what we
episode.
do. Yeah, that exactly. It was rough time.
And we really did do it in the name of entertainment as far as like the talent end goes. Like we wanted to make a good product, so we wanted to try the nasty shit, even though it tasted like ass, and like we didn't mind.
But that was at least not as egregious of situations where it's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, and like I did definitely go home and throw up several times because I had to film like 4 episodes in a day.
Yeah, but then you think about it and you're like, holy shit, they paid me a $400 day rate and I had to film 2 episodes in a day. That's horrible. Like it's like literally so bad. Lily had nothing to do with that. She tried. Okay, they just didn't want to pay me nothing.
I'm like, I wasn't getting paid either. I was like, so you're telling me I don't get any more money if I throw up after?
The reason I even bring that up though is because it is alarming how much entertainment companies take advantage of talent and people that get them a lot of views. And like the content may be entertaining for the viewer, but when you look at what the person actually got out of it, regardless of how traumatizing or nasty or whatever the case is, depending on the content, it's fucked almost 99% of the time. I'm not giving Beast an out here, but I'm just saying like it's not super surprising to me that that's the case.
No, that's exactly. I'm like, when I think of what we did where it was like purposely kind of like humiliating yourself or doing something that was gonna be embarrassing, like we were doing that for the content and we weren't even getting paid a lot. So if someone was offering you $300,000 or something to stay in a room for, you'd be like, yeah, absolutely. And people are desperate for money. They're like, I can make more than I would make in years in a month. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like no shit, they're gonna say yes. But the Jake situation in particular, he recounts that I guess he worked for MrBeast and was in a bunch of the videos. Then he left. He made a video 3 years ago that was like why I left.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
Did it just not get traction?
Well, no, because it wasn't negative.
Oh, interesting.
So here is 3 years ago. I also will preface this. I don't think he's lying. Like, I don't think he made this up. I think it's a situation where it's like, he wanted to tell people he left, hoped that it was going to get him some traction for his channel. And then he wasn't going to share like necessarily the truth of what happened. One, because he did, I guess, sign an NDA. But then also, everyone loves MrBeast. Why would you go against him?
Especially
no one's
3 years ago. Yeah, that would have been a disaster if he decided to do that.
Exactly. So he basically said, I'll just let him say it.
And I appreciate the opportunity that I had it, and I had it for so long. So if you thought that this was going to be an exposed video, haha, no, it's not. If you thought I was going to sit here and be like, oh, Jake the Viking sells beard jelly to children, that's not what I'm doing, okay? Because me and Jimmy actually left on very good terms. I met with Jimmy before I left. He understood where I was coming from. I understood where he was coming from. There's no bad vibes either way. I'm good. I'm good.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine.
Oh my God.
You're not really fine.
That's
but you
actually
just
kind of
can't.
funny.
Yeah.
So basically, he was like, no, left on good terms, loved the opportunity, blah, blah. But now he's saying that maybe they didn't leave on such good terms because he had gone back to do this video and Jimmy had reached out to him. He had been gone for a while. And he was like, hey, do you want to come do I don't know if Jimmy reached out to him personally, but it's like, do you want to come do a video for MrBeast? And he said that he heard that he needed money. And he was like, oh my God, yes. Like, I do want to do something that is going to get me a bunch. And he also says that one of the reasons he went along with it was because he notoriously, I guess, had gotten cut out of a lot of the content that he had been in before.
So he never got the chance.
Well, and he never got the chance to get much of a following on his own.
Yeah.
But then he finds out that this particular challenge that Jimmy wants him for, he's the only one in the video. So he's like, they can't cut me out. This is perfect.
It's like the Monsters Inc. when he only gets like featured in the commercials, but like it's just like half of him.
No, he said that. I was like, oh, that's so sad. So he signs up for this solitary confinement situation. Basically, he gets pitched that it's like, it won't be that long, but like you're going to start and you're going to have like an ice cream machine and a hot tub and a bunch of amenities that like, first of all, to children, especially that are watching this, which is the majority of MrBeast's audience, like putting in stuff. Cause you know, even with the grocery store, it's like, oh my God, staying in a grocery store with all this food, that's so easy.
When
and
you
then
said
it,
that, I was like,
progressively
yeah,
gets
that
harder.
sounds good. Yeah. But one thing I want to say really quick is this, like, we have receipts. Like, is this true? He did film this video, or is this all just kind of his recollection of it?
He shares screenshots talking about afterwards.
Okay.
When he has like friends texting him saying, are you okay? But the video has never been released. So could he be making it up? Sure, I guess. But like, I don't think he is.
But allegedly he could be, but allegedly we don't think he did. Me just trying to be
correct,
not
correct.
get sued.
Allegedly, yes. People were like, he's reading a script. People actually in the comments were sick because it was like live premiering. And the chat was saying that MrBeast was spamming bots in the chat to say that it was scripted. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, honestly,
that seems specific.
Yeah, like allegedly. But he does look off at notes, I think, throughout. But I don't think he's reading a script, and he like cries in it several times.
Oh shit. Okay. And one thing that's crazy though too is this is the cornfield guy interviewing him. So the cornfield guy is the one that got the cease and desist from MrBeast, no?
Yes.
That's insane. So he's going balls to the wall. He said, fuck you.
Yeah, and he's basically said like straight to camera to the CEO, which I guess it's like a secret CEO. He's like, fuck you.
Okay. You know what I will say is those are words of someone who's never been sued before. King, you gotta chill out because he's got a lot of money and it's scary, but I understand why he feels that way.
I did actually start to pull up earlier and I got distracted. I haven't been fully like dialed into all the Rosanna stuff that's been like that she's been posting about the game show and all of the stuff. Something about underwear being taken and weird shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she's like, they took everyone's underwear for some weird reason.
Like, oh. But today I had like multiple people send me this. She tweeted out, I've heard rumors from people working close with MrBeast that he is hiring PIs to investigate those speaking up against him. Thank you to the people who reached out to warn me and others. I now have confirmation from several people that individuals are indeed being offered money to fabricate stories about me and others. I have identified some of these people already. They began harassing my friends as of last weekend. I'm keeping all the receipts.
I mean, he's got so much money. I just don't doubt that he's capable of literally anything. Like, just make this go
Someone
away.
was like, wow, this is like Scientology level shit.
Well,
Like,
I mean, and speaking of weird, I mean, not to get sidetracked, but just super, super quick. Speaking of weird ass people who have a lot of money and just try to make things go away, Alex Earl had her lawyers email us. I have to say it. I can't keep it in.
it is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
They emailed us, first of all, thinking that we have any control or association with our subreddit, even though it is stated multiple times on every single post that we have no affiliation with that. We don't moderate it.
Yeah.
We don't have any access to it. And either way, her lawyer contacted us and said that we have violated their copyright.
Oh, no. We have violated like a dozen laws,
rights. Yeah,
according
it
to this
gave
email,
Janet a little
including
bit.
like money laundering or something. Like, it's Janet level, like, you're gonna go to jail for years. Like, but it was
you're
the
wondering
weirdest shit
why
ever.
this would even happen, because we haven't spoken about Alex Earl in a while. It's because someone posted on our subreddit on the like heels of the Brooke Schofield stuff. Well, Alex Earl apparently has her fair share of a racist past with using the N-word a lot on her Ask FM. And so people posted screenshots of that in our subreddit. And her lawyer said that they have a trademark to that, which is like, you trademarked her racist Ask FM things? Like,
Literally,
what?
I was like, oh, that's a creative tactic.
Right? Like,
and I was actually
interesting.
talking to Becca about it, and we were like, not obviously, it's like really shitty and awful that she was using the N-word, but like her situation isn't even close to what Brooke is having to try and fan the flames of. Like, she just said, it was like solo posts of like just her saying the N-word. I'm like, that would be very easy for her to diffuse and be like,
own up to it.
I said it was like, it was a joke. I didn't mean it. I didn't realize, blah, blah. Not okay. But like, she could have easily gotten past that. It is crazy to me that instead the method to get rid of this, because that's, first of all, unrealistic to begin with, but is to trademark them and try and get people like to
Copyright
legally
takedown.
That is insane. Like, you're only like Streisand effects in
I was
full
flabbergasted.
full force.
But anyway, I just had to share that because I couldn't keep it in anymore. But it makes sense to me that MrBeast would be doing shit like hiring PIs. Like, that doesn't seem outlandish at all when you think of the money and like just the capability of these people. It's out of our scope of understanding.
For sure.
But I can
And when
totally
you
see it.
consider his like scope of his empire and like how much he has to lose.
The thing is too is that like, because his content, it's like David Dobrik, because his content is around other people, even though I feel like David was featuring other people, but he was also heavily featured in it more than MrBeast is now.
His
Wouldn't you say?
voice was.
Yeah. And I guess MrBeast
Like,
says
he was
too,
rarely
like, doesn't
on
he narrate
camera.
everything? Like, he's in it.
Yeah, but like, for example, like for this situation with Jake, he says that he would come in for like maybe an hour a day. But
Yeah.
this guy was like literally stuck in a room for like a month.
Oh shit. Yeah, actually, let's go back to that. Sorry for the sidetrack of Alex Earl and her weird lawyer, but yeah.
It was relevant.
I do want to learn about the facility though, because that's fucking crazy.
Okay, yeah, so this is him explaining, like, he got there, and I started this a little past when he first starts explaining, but he says even when he got there, because, like, they always have to, and I've noticed this about a lot of MrBeast stuff, they, like, build sets and stuff just for these videos,
Yeah.
and that's why he has, like, his whole compound and, like, studio space and stuff. Apparently, this guy says that he got there, and they had just freshly painted the walls, so he went into this room that he was going to be in for, like, the next month, and it smelled like paint.
Oh shit, I would lose it.
I'm like, that alone, I would be like,
Yeah.
what? Excuse me?
It's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to like get like a separate like tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like, things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub, if not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, there's not like a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, bam, and off, reeking of smelly dairy mildew. Like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little thing started to build up. You know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor in
The bug thing, I didn't even hear that.
What happened with the bugs?
I don't know. I don't really want to know, but I guess there were bugs. That's disgusting.
Just notably, how many subscribers does he have? Because this video has 7 million views. It just premiered yesterday.
Oh my god! Literally, I was on a walk with Max yesterday at like 5, and that was when it came out. And it has 7.2. That's insane. He has 451,000.
Wow.
Wait, also,
what?
His video because this is like a part 2. His part 1 has 12 million views.
Oh, from 2
last
weeks
week.
ago. Oh shit.
Or 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Maybe he explains a cornfield in it. We'll have to check it out sometime. But yeah, the fucking smells of things affect me so bad. Like, it's to the TMI. But if like Nassim farts and like normally it's fine and it's like just a little one. If it's bad, like it actually makes me angry. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Like I can't focus. I can't think. I feel like my eyes want to water. Like it just makes me upset. So if you're in a fucking room in solitary confinement and the smell of mildew and like it actually makes me want to throw up.
That does gross me out a lot, but honestly, the noise would kill me more. I'm like super sensitive to noise.
Well, that's why he's saying this, which sense is gonna get assaulted, because I hate to say it, but I am like so fucked if there's an apocalypse of any sort, because I sleep with a sound machine and the room needs to be the right temperature and my blanket needs to be fresh and everything needs to be just right. Like if my bathroom door's open, I don't sleep well. So I get it. Like that sounds like torture. It seems like a mild form of torture.
Funny you mentioned that, because get ready.
Oh boy.
This next part is what people have literally said is torture, and also what has kind of made the headlines for most of people's articles, because it's so just like inhumane.
Yeah.
The lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me, saying this we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off, and I'm vocalizing to people. I wish the lights would turn off, and I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go. They're not turning the lights off. He goes, "What? That's a war crime.
Literally,
we're not allowed to do that to terrorists." Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
So basically, he was being filmed 24/7, and they said, oh, we can't turn the lights off because that'll mess with the time lapses.
What? That was their reasoning?
The entire time, they kept the lights on. In addition, though, he also did not have a clock, and he never got any sunlight.
Okay, that is torture. That's a form of torture. Like, actually.
And then when you couple in the other, like, factors with, like, it smells and it's, like...
Yeah, but also, I mean, as a avid reality show watcher, one thing they do is they do night vision cameras. That's super easy to do.
I was just thinking that when it came out of my mouth, I was like, why didn't they do night vision?
Literally, it's the easiest thing ever. And then it just shows it's nighttime. He's sleeping now. Why the fuck do you need to have the lights on?
How crazy is this? He I said he was glad because he couldn't get cut out of this video. So he's like, they're doing all these time lapses. There's a whiteboard, I guess. And he says he wrote his name on his YouTube channel on the whiteboard. He's like, that'll fuck up the time. Like, everyone's going to see it then. That's perfect. They went and erased it. No. And we're like, you can't write that there.
Oh
and
my
he's like,
God.
You're telling me that I'm giving you this video and you can't even let me just little plug? Like, are you kidding?
Wow, that's insane.
So then he starts giving a little more insight about Jimmy. And this one, I was like, ew. Another thing that allegedly totally tracks. Like, it's very much like, okay, I don't watch very many MrBeast videos, but what I have noticed when he has done charity stuff and like he's giving a random person like $20,000 or buying all their groceries or something, he's incredibly awkward when he's giving it to them. He never cries. Which, I mean, you don't have to cry, but it's like...
He seems like an awkward individual in general. Yes, I can agree with you.
Which is why I kind of always kind of chalked it up to like, I guess he's just socially awkward. Like,
yeah.
But the more I hear and the more I see, I'm like, or he doesn't really care and he's doing this for the views. He doesn't give a shit about giving people... It's like David Dobrik. We said that he like only did the charity stuff because he knew it did well, not because he was
and
like,
they were almost always sponsored
back.
As well. I will say there is a person that I follow on TikTok. Her name is Dora, and she lives in a village in Africa. And she...
A village.
She talks a lot about how Beast Philanthropy, that's how she words it, I guess that's the company, came out and gave electricity to her village, which did change their lives and did make everything. Like it really, really helped him out a lot. I don't think he made like a YouTube video about it. He may have put it like on TikTok or something like that. But I want to believe that some of the charitable things he does is out of the goodness of his heart. And even if it's not, that he is actively helping a lot of people. I would like to believe that. And I mean, I know he does help people.
I'm more saying that like when he gets the reactions from people,
like directly, like when he's the one handing someone money or like,
he'll like give them a hug or something, and it's incredibly awkward. And it could just be because he's socially awkward. I don't know. I kind of get the vibe that it's like that doesn't really affect him. Like other people.
And I mean, you may be right.
And like,
yeah. And we talked about in our last MrBeast episode where it's just like whether he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart or not, at least he's doing it. I will give him that. But a lot of shitty people do charity for a million reasons that are selfish. You know what I mean? Like to write off on taxes or to appear a certain way in the public. Like there's a lot of different reasons. But I mean, you're still helping people. It sucks, but you are.
You are. But then how many situations are there like this where it's not charity and it's like he's saying dance monkey dance and like trying to make content in a way that he thinks is going to perform best and get him the most return, and like he doesn't give a fuck what the people are experiencing.
That's the content shift that's been interesting to see, because he was little, you know, he was doing a charity king moment, and then now it's like, what are we doing here?
It's just Squid Games in real life,
literally.
Which, like, yes, he did a Squid Games thing too, but like now it's like that seems to be
his thing,
the motive behind most of these. But here's a good example of him like just focusing on like, how can I basically manipulate this person and just make the best content I can. Like he wants to elicit emotions from the people watching and like make them think that this is a great situation, and he doesn't really care if it's actually true or not.
And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone that would really piss me off. This is a note I got from the director from Jimmy when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course. And just something about like having the cameras on me all the time. Like I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny.
He also shares that there was like an off-screen moment where, or actually maybe even on-screen. It said there was some video having to do with, he did like a hide and seek situation, and he reveals that this guy Jake reveals that his dad is currently in prison for essaying a minor. And
oh my god,
very dark. Yeah.
What?
And
Jesus,
which is why he says that like a lot of this stuff coming out is like very like upsetting to him too.
Oh yeah.
He says that he's playing this hide and seek game in a video, and he gets found and has to go to like the place where you go after you're like out of the game. And he said like, we were not friends. Like Jimmy was my boss. We were not on the level for him to make this joke, but Jimmy's joke was like, oh, you're going to jail just like your dad. I was like, what?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, allegedly.
I mean, does it track with his humor? Sure. But, you know, that's alleged. We don't know.
Like,
we
that's
weren't there.
Fucked.
Beyond. There's some people who just say I mean, look at this fucking episode in general. Some people have some fucked up ways of thinking, and they just, I don't know if they think they're being funny or what, but they just say some shit.
He even says, he's like, I do have a dark sense of humor. I do stand-up comedy, blah, blah. I make jokes about it. My close friends will joke about it sometimes, but he's like, Jimmy was not my friend. He was my boss. Like, that was not something.
It's inappropriate.
So after he's been in there for like an extended period of time, and I'm pretty sure he was getting like $10,000 a day or something, he'd already like was ready to like tap out. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy does this in multiple kind of challenges. Like this is like a twist he does where he'll come in and like offer them even more money if they do like this challenge within the original challenge.
Right.
So this is a man that has been in this room with not good conditions, has not been sleeping. Guess what the challenge is?
Oh God, I don't know. What?
He has to run a marathon on the treadmill.
What? You're gonna kill someone.
Literally, running a marathon, if you have not trained for a marathon, is already not gonna go well. But then when you add in
how many miles is that? It's like over 10 miles, isn't it?
A marathon, I think it's 26.
Jesus Christ, are you fucking kidding me?
Let me confirm that, but I'm pretty
And he hasn't slept well.
Yep.
Has he ate well? He hasn't
probably
talked
not.
about the food, has he?
No. Yeah, actually, I don't think
But
he
even
does
just
talk
the
about
not
food.
sleeping well part.
Exactly. And not
insane.
like going outside. He doesn't have any vitamin D or it's just insane.
No, it's that literally you're going to give someone a heart attack or they're going to fucking die.
26.2 miles.
Holy shit. And did he take it? Did he do it?
He did. Literally, I'm telling you, I was like listening to most of this video on my walk, and every single thing he said, I'm like, no, he sounds like a sociopath. Like, how could you make someone do this?
He comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic. I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube.
I don't think dyslexia applies to Rubik's Cube.
I don't do that. You go, just do it for the thing, like kid, Like there was an element of, Jake will do what we want because he's in house. That's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run, let alone a marathon, let alone that training for it. So I was in a sunlightless,
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, And if I refuse, it's just, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
I remember, me and my friend Audrey always reminisce about this, not nearly anything close to this, but we went on a walk one time. We were like in a walking mood. And it was like when we were probably in high school still. And we walked from my house to the shopping center that was by our high school. But where I'm from, it's like not like everything is like 2 miles away. And I'm pretty sure that the distance was like, I want to say like 6 miles or something. And for people that don't walk that often, it's going to fuck you up. So we had planned, I think originally to walk back. That didn't happen. So we called my mom to pick us up. We had been like talking the whole time, and we weren't particularly exhausted when we got there, but then we get my mom's car, and she we went somewhere to stop for food, and we went to get out of the car to go get the food. And oh my God. I still remember vividly, like we were like one step and we were like collapsing because our muscles and the lactic acid and like everything just catches up to you. And it was so painful, and we were sore for like weeks.
Yeah.
And that was like 6 miles.
because like in the moment you can kind of trick your brain or just like keep going, and the adrenaline almost just like in the moment will allow you to do it. But after, the aftermath can be fucking insane. So that makes sense. Like it makes sense that he could complete it, even though his body was not capable of completing it, and it shouldn't have.
He says started at 12, ended at 3, so it was over 12, like 15 hours.
What?
Yeah. I mean, think 26 miles, and he had to take, like, because it's not like, oh, what's your mile time? 8-9 minutes. Yeah, but it's not going to be that for fucking 26 miles.
And the thing is, you have to remember, like, for people who are like, okay, if this is a he said, she said situation, which it is because he's not showing us proof, what I will say is going against MrBeast and saying false shit can ruin your life. Like straight up. Like he has the money
Like
to take
I don't know
you
what
down.
motive you would have to do.
Like if there was no
this
show
unless
and he
it-
never had to do that
Yeah.
and there was no proof of this anywhere and you couldn't provide proof that you did this, dangerous game to play. So I'll just say that. Like I feel like he has to be truthful.
Right, and it wasn't like it was just him and Jimmy. Like there was crew, there was people involved, there was
Production,
witnesses,
cameramen,
like,
yes.
yeah. And like the footage, even if they delete it, like there has to be something somewhere.
People over there that was saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work. And they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked them, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No.
What?
And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And they brought, it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it. They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me and he was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're going to make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, your mental health's the most important thing. I just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before it got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And I haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then.
So that was basically how it ends. Is he, and I guess there I looked, there's no video, it never went up. So I think it ended too prematurely for them to think it was a full.
So if he earned $10,000 a day and he got $100,000, what's the math on that?
He did it
10
for
days?
11 days, and I guess so maybe it was 20 days or something. They said he would need to, or they plan on him staying for another 7 when he asked, but I guess he stayed for 11 days.
Oh my God. When he was saying that, I thought he said 57 days.
Oh my God, no.
They said 5 to 7.
Days.
Okay, I think he said 5 to 7, and then I heard 57.
No, that would be actually insane. And even 11 doesn't feel oh, that's not that much. Maybe, I guess, to some people.
Solitary confinement, it's a lot.
Yeah, it
To
was
not speak to
after
another
2
person
days,
for
you
11
would
days is a
feel
lot.
nuts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all of his personal recounting of the situation, which honestly, this was I was watching it oh my God. How many other situations like this where people have not spoken out? Because also he potentially is violating his NDA because he signed one.
True. Yeah, no, absolutely he is. And that's scary. But also not a good look for MrBeast if he starts suing the fuck out of everybody, which I think he knows that, but I'm sure he will try to. What I will say is just remember that this video that he did that was everything was fine with MrBeast, we left on good terms, that was before the solitary confinement. Because I feel maybe some some people will try to like negate.
Oh yeah,
They're
that's
like, you were
true.
happy with Mr. Beast, shut up.
No, and that's why I pulled it up, because I'm like, I'm sure people are going to say that, but I also feel like you can't take into account that he didn't feel like he could say anything negative because no one would believe him. And like he wanted to acknowledge that he left, but didn't want to like get in trouble. And that foreshadowing with the moment after, it's like, you have to say that you're fine. I'm like, oh God. But so the proof and the receipts he does have are text messages to friends. It's friends texting him afterwards being like, hope you're doing well. And someone says, hey Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check on you. And he says, hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit. I'm back in therapy and my therapist is concerned, but my legs and joints feel better. Like I can walk. My feet are still covered in those blisters and those hurt to walk on, but I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money and they aren't giving me all the money. They are giving me what I want up until that point in the game, which is also a slap in the face. But hey, I'm out. I'm alive. Someone says, how are you feeling after a few days? And he says, better. I still couldn't sleep even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on BetterHelp and my therapist is a little concerned, but we're working on things.
Not BetterHelp.
I know. I was like, oh, maybe get a different one. So those could be fake, sure, but the time, I guess, checks out. And
yeah,
also something he shows, or I guess this is Dog Pack 404 shows. He has basically documents from a like handbook that MrBeast's employees have, and it is the like title of the booklet that this comes from is How to Succeed in a MrBeast Production. In a MrBeast production? Anyway, and it goes to a page that is titled No Does Not Mean No, which he points out in the video. It's like, that's a little, that's like
risky as a business move to like title something that way.
Well, exactly. And also when it like, that stems from like people saying that about like the R word and like,
yeah,
exactly. So like, and you're gonna just like flip it to work for you. No, but it says, when dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take a no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of and you call the Dollar Tree and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if any are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss, their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted, you are left with a no. That doesn't mean don't try with other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't just stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of the many tools that, when combined, dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here.
Holy fuck. There's so much there that is super concerning, aside from the spelling errors. But
I was going to say, and the grammatical lack of commas.
And using shit in a like work pamphlet that you give to
your employees. But also, and again, this is alleged. Who knows if this is actually from them, but like.
It's true. This looks like a basic Google Doc. Anybody could write it, but it does.
But also, like, doesn't it very much like I could see him writing this? Like,
this makes sense. It makes sense that MrBeast would think no doesn't mean no. Like, why can't I film in Target just because it's a corporate fucking rule? Fuck you.
Like, oh no, but they don't know it's me. Like, let me just drop my name and then they'll say yes. The fact that it's like maybe their kids are fans. Oh my God.
I do get that he probably has utilized a lot of these tactics to get to where he is. That's how he started, you know, when he didn't have the money that he has now. But what I will say is it's a bizarre thing to be this informal and weird and tell your employees to do that on behalf of you. That is concerning because then you have people in your name going to people and being like, MrBeast is our boss. Like, you know him, right? Like, your kids know him. You're telling people to do this for you. Now this shit's messy. Like, it's one thing to do it yourself in a way that you would feel proud of for your own business. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't. But at least you're the one doing it. You're asking other people to do it and you don't even know what they're saying or doing on behalf of you. You just want them to get it done. Concerning.
It's very much also giving the vibes of, but without the money even, of being like, someone says like there's no reservations and like someone pulls a 20 out of there, like, are there really still no reservations? Like, it's that kind of vibe where it's like, no, you don't want to say no to me. I can like make your meaningless life better. Like,
my father, the inventor of toaster strudel, not be very pleased.
Also, they don't go into this one, but right below it says work on multiple videos every day. Do not come in and only work on one video during a workday. because if you fall behind on future videos,
it creates a nasty
like,
cycle is what it's saying.
Which
Essentially.
that alone, I'm like,
his videos are so elaborate.
I know. Well, and that's, he must have it, like reading just these, the expectations and like
versus pay.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And he probably makes them think, because he has all this money and he does these videos where he gives people $100,000 like it's nothing. He, I'm sure, makes it like, oh, if you put in your dues now, like it'll be worth it for you. Except it's a bunch of people killing themselves to like help him make money. But that's it for Jake. But I do want to play one other part that is very disturbing and is much more, I mean, I think there's a bunch of legal concerns we've covered already for like just labor laws and like work conditions, but this is next level. Oh, so basically they ask him about the Ava thing and he says like, I've never seen, like, there were offhanded jokes that she would make, and like he says that he was in a lot of videos with her and like they did work together a lot, but that never saw anything like predatory. It was just like inappropriate stuff.
Right.
But then he goes on to explain this.
Outside of it, Chris Tyson, did you really see any or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, people have been let go for sick or young people. The idea that Jimmy didn't know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that, Well, there was a known offender, registered offender.
Oh, this is interesting. That wasn't blurred out before. So I wonder if...
what's blurred out?
I'm not sure what it... I think it might have been a picture of the guy he's going to be talking about. He says who is a registered...
oh, shit. And now it got blurred in YouTube post.
Yeah, which there are ways. Do you remember? Do you remember when we did my Tinder video? And there was that guy that had the weird blood picture, and we were making fun of him.
Yes.
And he filed like a privacy or like something that he put on the video that I don't remember what the parameters, like if you had a certain amount of time, but it was basically like you can blur it or take it out or whatever. And I blurred it. So I assume that was because someone reached out to say take it out.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Who worked there. And like you can, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on that's one thing. You go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. Like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that.
That said, victim age 1 to 11.
Oh, and sorry, I'm flabbergasted. He worked for MrBeast?
Yeah, here, let's continue.
He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? What are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender, and that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to? Is it more on the nose or? I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, The fuck?
Holy shit.
What you know about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
But he also does go on to say at one point, like, even if he didn't know, that is gross negligence to the point that it's like, you don't do background checks on
Beyond.
people? Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
beyond. To have a production at that level where you can build sets for a fucking idea you just have on a random Tuesday, you have the capacity to background check. We have the capacity to background check people. You could literally background check anyone if you really wanted to. Trust me, I have to pay a subscription.
I was gonna say, we talk about, we always have those subscription payments, but that's
I
insane.
background check those concrete people who scam me. Like, it's not that hard. This is insane. Like, actually, I don't normally get shocked very often. That is fucking shocking. That is insane. They call him Delaware because he's not allowed in Delaware. The victims are 1 to 11 years old.
So, quick update on the registered offender. Turns out that Delaware is the brother-in-law of Jake the Viking. Who's Jake the Viking, you might ask? I had the same question. But apparently he is known for being in a bunch of MrBeast videos and is a good friend of Jimmy's. Or should I say was a good friend of Jimmy's, because for months now, he's been speaking out against Ava Chris Tyson and also saying that Jimmy knew. Well, turns out Jimmy also knew about his brother-in-law being a registered offender, because after Dogpack's video comes out, Jake the Viking tweets this. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he is an RSO. Nice abbreviation there. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. His nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was and was actually the reason I got hired at MrBeast. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017/2018. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. Delaware was supposed to be a behind-the-scenes manager, but in a couple videos, he was asked to partake because we needed people. He was reluctant, especially in the straitjacket video, because of his charges, and that's why he wore the mask. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my 2 nieces that I could ever ask for. They want no part in this and just want to live their lives away from the limelight. I understand why anyone would be upset and frustrated over these allegations, and I do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable, but in the case of Delaware, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day these charges are dropped. Thank you. But it is important to note that, well, first of all, that what he was convicted of, he took the plea deal on, was 4th-degree R-word and sexual intercourse with a minor. Interestingly, though, in the community notes for that tweet, it links to another tweet of his where he is quote tweeting a Keemstar video where Keem is going off on him and calling him a clout chaser and all this stuff. Jake the Viking quote tweets it and says, I stopped at clown. That's you. Again, just because I know someone who did something bad doesn't mean I can't call others out on doing bad. L take Keemy. Did something bad? I thought that the charges were being dropped and you didn't think he did anything. That seems a little conflicting there. Even if you think he didn't do anything, probably not the best idea for Jimmy to hire him for his YouTube channel aimed at children. Not a good look. This is all very messy, and MrBeast is freaking the fuck out, I bet. Anyway, that is it for now, and this episode is probably 3 hours long, but hope you enjoyed.
Ooh, that just worked me the fuck up. Holy shit. Jimmy, you are so fucked. Like, you're worse than David Dobrik, and David Dobrik almost killed someone, so that's saying a lot.
The Jake, like, isolate or the solitary confinement, that gave such David Dobrik vibes, but then it goes to this, and it's like, what the fuck is going on there? And, like, no wonder he was quick to get Ava out, because he's like, okay, let's get the problem out that people are talking about so they don't find out all the other shit.
And look at them having to blur it because either Jimmy or that guy probably is trying to strike it or just like get rid of this content. That's super fucking insane and disgusting, and he should be ashamed of himself. And I just, oh my God, I feel gross. I feel like my skin's crawling.
So, I mean, based on that blurred photo, it seems like someone is interfering and trying to get at least parts of this video taken down.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess he has had the CEO, I believe, doing some like recon behind the scenes to try and figure out what else he's gonna leak so they can like plan damage control around it.
It's just insane because the Ava Chris Tyson stuff just it just opened the floodgates. It really fucking did. Like, then Rosanna Pansino came in, now ex-employees. I mean, I feel like if all of this is true, they're not the only ones that have gone through some shit with Beast Productions. There has to be thousands of other people. Now, are they going to violate their NDAs and speak about it? Maybe not, or maybe, I don't know.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, not interesting. It's like fucked that unless there's like legal repercussions and like they're actually getting in trouble for doing illegal things, it's going to be much, much harder to just like cancel MrBeast when all of his audience are children. And like, literally, I saw a comment, I don't know if it was on our video or someone else's, but it's like, I guess a lot of people are being age restricted for reporting on this. And it's like, it's going to be age restricted. And the kids that watch will have no idea any of this is even going on because they're just watching MrBeast. Like, he could just not say anything and it could not really affect his video performance.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I could see that happening. Also, do I hope that parents kind of, because I mean, as a parent myself, you do have control. Kids watch some weird shit. My son is into these like hybrid animal videos where it's like, why am I watching a banana dolphin? Like, this doesn't make sense.
But hybrid animal.
Yeah, it's a lot of different hybrids, okay? They mix weird shit. But at the same time, as a parent, you know what your kid's into and what they're watching. So you just hope that they're paying attention to what their kids are watching and that hopefully they'll get their kids to stop if they hear all this shit in the adult world on YouTube. But realistically, do I think it's more plausible that he will continue on despite terrorizing everyone in his path, allegedly? Yeah. Yeah, I do think that's
and I think
more
he
realistic.
probably can either convince people or just pay them off to like vouch for him and just like,
yeah.
He already had said that I think it was in reference to Dogpack that it was like an unhinged ex-employee that was acting erratically or something, like try and make him seem crazy.
Sure, it was just a one-time thing, Jimmy. You're just hoping the NDA sticks and that nobody else comes out. But anyway, hopefully this video's up.
I know. I'm like,
didn't get,
that's the thing. I was like, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
We will see. Wow, that was fucking insane. I can't lie. That was really something. I mean, I didn't think it could get worse, and it got worse. That's
honestly
crazy.
I wouldn't have even suggested we cover it unless it was something that was like a whole other ballgame. Yeah. But I was like losing my mind listening to it yesterday.
Well, to end things on a good note.
Yes.
I do have a We Love the Internet.
Better not be farting.
It has a dog. It's not farting. It's a dog.
Good. I love dogs.
But I'm telling you, the only animal stuff I get on my For You page is like animals being little menaces or like doing something that's weird. I never just get like cute animal videos.
Oh my God, I had a funny one I liked today.
So the caption on the screen says, "My lab jumps on everyone at the pool."
Oh God.
Dogs and pools, it's you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes they're like calm and sometimes they're like, what do you do?
I forget what the dog's name is, but I think we watched it maybe even on here. The one that kept jumping in, like, and when...
Yes, that was one of our
that
We Love the
account
Internets.
is one of my favorites. Every video is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm destroyed right now. Oh, no, Ellie, you have to stop now. You're gonna learn.
Maybe say sit?
No, it's not good.
The way he's just like, maybe say sit.
He's like, fuck you. Oh my God, that was amazing.
And the way he said, like, I'm destroyed, like the first guy, like she has jumped on him so many times.
That's the thing. It's like dogs. I remember even when we were like, I had a golden retriever growing up and we tried to teach her how to swim and when we moved into a house with a pool and she claws the fuck out of you. Like, not on purpose, but like it's very painful. Mine is, it reminded me of the one you... of the one you showed the other day with the seal. I don't know if sea lion. Okay, so the caption says, testing if our seals, I think this is like an aquarium, but they seem happy, so hopefully it's not a bad one. It says, testing if our seals would survive a Quiet Place movie.
Oh my God. Nasim's always talking about how we would fail at that.
There's definitely no plops are too loud.
Aw. Oh, no, not. No.
How cute are they? They just, I didn't know, it's such a weird, like, they just kind of like.
Why'd the second one do that noise? That was very scary. This one's scary.
Blah.
I'm not even joking.
Look
That's
at
my
this one
kids.
flop.
My kids actually do that to me all day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. That's
anyway.
funny. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. How fucked we'd be if we were in a quiet place. We're like, Amelie for sure.
She'd be like,
no one even
oh,
though.
look at this Christmas.
No, now her latest thing, like, because
It's of course,
probably
right?
would have to turn the lights off, and because they hear the electricity and all that stuff in the movie, she would like think we're like monster hunting or something like that. That's her latest thing. She gets a flashlight and she goes, "Mama, it's a ghost." I'm like, oh my god, I can't.
Oh my god, no!
We're
One of
definitely
the
gonna
scariest things ever is those videos where like little kids are telling their parents that they were like, "Oh, I played with this person," and it's like, "What are you talking about? There's no one here."
Maybe when she gets older, it'll be scarier. But right now, it's all day, every day.
Well, no, yeah, I
There's
mean,
a
it's,
monster, there's
if
a
you can tell her,
ghost.
or if you can tell she's kidding, it's one thing. But when they have like the serious ones where the kid's like, "Oh, I learned this
You know
song
what's
from
weird?
someone," it's so
I will
creepy.
say is I have showed her a picture of my grandma who passed far before she was born. And I said, "Who's this?" And she said that was abuela, which she doesn't call my mom abuela. She calls her aba. And I called my grandma abuela. Like, we don't use that word around her. So I don't know how she knew it. And that freaked me out. That was like a few months ago. I was like, how do you know that's abuela? Like, who told you that? But I
And she
never
was
had
just
before.
like,
So there's like,
of course.
Literally, and then I tried to have her say it again, and she didn't. And I was like,
Of course.
"Oh, that
Of
was
course."
weird." But then I'm just like, okay, hopefully it's just my grandma visiting her and not some like scary demon or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, no, I feel like at
there's
least that would
kids
be a
that could be
positive
scary in
one.
that way. Anyway, okay, we can rant about anything for 5 minutes more.
I'm really
We'll
hot,
leave you.
sweating.
This was a long one.
Yeah.
If you guys made it to the end, we appreciate you very much. And have a great rest of your week. And as always, we will see you on Friday. Bye.
Yes.